Hello and welcome to another DGCAD Revit Building 8 A to Z training tutorial here in our part 2, and we're down on lesson 12 now, and we're going to create some title blocks and title block template files, and they are a .rft. I might have referred to it in earlier lessons as an RFA, but it's a template RFT file. So what's going to happen is we're going to go in and we're going to go new, and when you pick new in Revit, it allows you to say new project, new family type, new title block, new annotation symbol. So when you want to create a new project, you go here, family, you go here. This is where we'll be going new title block. It's its own object type, and then or new annotation symbol if you want to make an annotation symbol. Once you get in there, you start with the base title block template file, and you can pick from an assortment of standard sizes in metric and imperial, and then you make modifications and add your lines, and you add what are labels, and labels are like attributes, so you can add labels and text and lines and graphics, and then you save that, and then you can use the load to projects button to push that out to whatever projects happen to be open at the time. It will first of all, it'll put that title block sheet available in the project, the other project that happens to be open, but also it will update and regenerate the title block downstream if it has altered. So we can regenerate by load. So it's a pretty powerful button here. This load to projects is nice to see. So now what we'll do is we'll just go over to our Revit. And here in Revit, I don't have anything open. Again, we go up here and we click on File and we click New, and there's that new project, new family, and from these we always pick template files. So in this case, we'll pick a new title block, and then it's going to prompt me for the last place I was at. So I'm going to say, no, I want an imperial title block, so I'm going to just browse to here, and then from there I'm going to go to imperial templates, and then down here we have title block templates, and I'm just going to pick a standard 24 by 36 inch template, hit OK, and it bumps me into the family editor here. I'm going to double click, and all it does is it's got some line work in there, and it's specific size, so I could do some quick measurements, but pretty confident that's 36 by 24. Okay, so that would be the outside basically of the paper edge. And now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go in here, for instance, and do some line work. So I'm going to draw some lines, and I'm going to just use my rectangle command, and I'm just going to click, for instance, and there's many ways we can do this. Click in there. Okay, now what we can do is we can grab this object. We can might have wanted to move that one in a bit. And with this, we can go in and just click on these numbers and type in 0.5. Now this might not be the fastest way to do this, but just as an example, 0.5 of an inch. Okay, working your way around, clicking on those objects. Okay, so we get our paper size the way we want. Then we can draw some more line work in here, for instance, down in our title block. And I'm going to draw another rectangle. In fact, I'll just do lines. Work my way over to here, and then maybe go from there up right up to the top. Don't need that, and that should only be to there. And I don't know why I'm drawing double lines here. Oh, I was using the rectangle command, I see. So I'm just going to do a little bit of cleanup. But the nice thing is these lines all kind of talk to each other. So if I pull this over to here, it's going to kind of do that. And then I can take this and maybe use a control button, click down, and just kind of copy some of these down. Draw some more lines in there. So more or less line work to get our title block the way we want it. Once we do that, we can start to annotate this. So I can go in and now I can add some images if I want. So I can go File and I can say Import, and I can say bring an image in, and I'm just going to go to, for instance, my documents and my pictures here. and grab this object here and hit open. Bring that object in. I'm going to place that logo there, and all I have to do is grab that grip, kind of move it around. Good old nudge command. Love it. Okay, get that title block in there, and then we can go add some labels. And labels are like attributes. I'm going to pick a label, and I'm just going to pick a point there, and it's going to bump me in, and it's going to say, "What? This is a specific type of piece of text." So I'm going to say, well, I want that to be the project name. And then I can hit OK, and it's going to bring the project name in there. I'm going to put another one in here, and I'm going to say project address. Okay. I'm going to put another one in over here. Notice it's beautifully lining them all up here. I'm going to put in date and timestamp as well. Okay. Put another label in here. Click on here, and maybe the sheet number. Okay. And another one, lastly, maybe sheet name, which will be, the name. So those are labels, and they're going to get picked up when I populate this to a project. Now I can just hit escape a couple times, and I can click on here, and of course I can stretch these ones out. Okay, do what I want with that. Nudge them around. Take this. Now if you don't like the size of it, you can go into here, for instance, and click on that particular object, and that's called tag 1. But I can go in here and edit, and I can duplicate and call it tag 2, and now I can go in and I can change the size of that to be maybe half an inch. And hit OK, and hit OK, and then that'll be bigger, and then I can move that around. So that's just a kind of a tag type. Now I could take that and I could do the same thing. Now that that's there, I could say, okay, no, you're a tag 2. Okay, bring that out, put that over there. So you might want to try doing something like that by duplicating again that object type and changing the size. Okay. And now we might just want to put some text on there. So I can just use my regular text command, and I can say, put some text in here and say, project address, right? Because I need more or less a little label for that. Maybe I want that one to be smaller. So I can go into clicking on this, and I can go into here, and I can say edit, duplicate. This is text note 2, which is fine, and I'm going to change the text size to be 1/8 of an inch. So this is text, not the same as a label. Now I can click on there, everything's good. Now I can take this and use my control button, copy that down, go to here, swipe it, type in date, grab this, maybe swing that over a bit. Doesn't have to be so wide. Okay, so regular text, labels, picking up, and you can create your own parameters and your own labels. Okay, graphics, line work, everything's in here. Now you would do a save as, but you don't even have to. Let's just say I'm in a new project, file, new project, and I hit OK, and I'm working away in this new project. Now I should have checked if that was imperial or metric. And that was a metric template project, so I want to use imperial. So we'll do that again, file, new project, and if I browse here, I'll see that I am looking at metric, so I'm just going to go up a couple levels here and go to imperial templates, and then I'll pick the commercial default. Sounds good. Again, template file for that particular project type, hit OK. So now I'm in a new project. So now I can go out and I can take that title block sheet and I can use it in this project. It's going to do one-time upgrade here. And there's my new project. Now if I go down here right now and I go to sheets, this particular project starts with some template files. But I'm going to go in here and I'm going to say new sheet, as we saw in the last lesson. Okay, these are all blank sheets kind of waiting to happen. That's what the other thing you can do with template file projects is it has all your levels waiting for you and all your sheets waiting for you, and then as you draw the objects, here, they're just basically automatically getting populated down here to the schedules and everything. All of your door schedules and everything will all get populated. So I'm going to go in sheet, I'm going to say new sheet, and you'll notice that right now there's two options of sheets in this particular project. So meanwhile, back here in my template file, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit this button right here. I haven't even saved this yet. I should probably save it. File, save as, and I will call this DG24 by 36. And save that, and I should save it under the Imperial. So revit8, Imperial templates, title blocks, and save. Now I can go load two projects, and what it's going to do is it's going to push that out. It's going to bump me into that other project I was just in, by the way. So as I hit that button, it also transferred me to the project, and over here I will have a new sheet inside of here. If I go new sheet, I can see that there's my DG24 by 36 available for me to use in this project. So I can hit OK, and there we go. Now I'm in this new project, and I can go down into here. Whatever I draw, I can start to draw objects, and then take that, and now my new sheet got created under here, and I think it took this unnamed. There it is. Right click, and I would want to rename that and call this 00, so it goes to the top at least, and there it is up there. And now I can go to my level 1 and, for instance, drag that over, click that in, off I go with my new title block, which is to size. Now if you want a title block that start a new, let's try this again. Let's go File, New, and let's go Title Block, but and we're going to go to Imperial again, back over to here, Imperial Templates, remember down to Title Blocks, and I'm going to pick just new size, which means these are, when you create your title block, these are the files that you're going to want to use as your base file, because they're the standard Imperial sizes. But if you want to make a size that's not yours, just use this one, hit OK, and it starts off, and it just has some dimensions. So all you really have to do here is say click on here and then pick on this number and change this number to be 14 inches, for instance, that way, and then click on this one, take this number, 8.5 by 14. There's your legal sheet. Then you can go in and you can delete these as well. Okay. The other thing you can do, I'm going to go back to my other sheet that I have here. Where is it? Should be here. There it is. Now notice that the outer has outer lines. What I'm going to do is I'm going to actually take that outer line, and I'm going to say that it is an invisible line. Click. Should be a little bit kind of grayer. It's not quite as heavy as the other lines now. Now that I've done that, I can use my great match type, and I can click this now, and I can work my way around. Watch. Click, 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 and it's done. Now all I have to do is load that to projects and then push it out again. It's going to give me a new name there. And now it's going into this other project over here, and it says you already have one. Do you want to overwrite it? Yes. And then you have the opportunity to overwrite parameter values of existing types, and I'm just going to go with that default. Now what's going to happen is if I go back down here to my sheet, okay, there's my new title block, but guess what? Now the outer line is an invisible line on that title block. I'm not sure with that line. I must have an extra line on there. So then you can update that. Now I could go again. I could go back over to here, go to this drawing. I could take this, I can move that up to wherever I want, and then bang, hit over here, goes through, repopulates that, out I go, sure, and then back to my sheet, and then that's moved up. So you can control these, and then of course this is going to pick up the project information. So as I go into this project and I go in here and I go project information, I'm going to say, the project name is project plan. Hit OK, and it's going to put that information because I put it in here. Okay, it's putting 00 on because that's the name of my sheet. If I go into the properties of that sheet, or rather I rename it, okay, 00, I can call this A, 1101, hit OK, and then of course it's going to change. So these are my labels. Of course, this is picking up the date and time, and then enter address here. I can click on here, and then in fact I've got to go up here to project information, project address, click on here, and then I'm going to add this address in. And then hit OK, and then hit OK. So that will go to all my sheets. Okay, so there's my title block in here, updating live. I can go back here at any point. I can, once I'm done this, you normally wouldn't go back and forth like this, but you can work back and forth between your title block and your project. Mainly you would want to save this and close it at some point. You don't want to be changing it all the time, but then you can flip back and forth between those the different title blocks. And now probably all we'd really need to do is go in here to say print, and then specify a specific printer that's big enough to handle that piece of paper. Maybe go into setup and pick our paper size off of here, and our 24 by 36 paper size. That looks good. Hit OK. Do a preview, and there's our preview. Picture perfect. Okay, so we've got an invisible line around the outside. We've got our title block with all our views and stuff, picking up the project information from our labels that we embedded into the template file of the title block. Got that all saved up, and then pushed it out to our project. And then the other one that we looked at, which was this one, was a custom sheet where we can actually go in at any point and go in and basically make this that size, and then click on this one and make it that size, and then add our line work. And then what we do again is we make these invisible lines, and then we make the other ones visible, and then we save it. So it's not that difficult. And a last little trick which I can pass on to here, I'm just going to switch back over to this project in here, and now there's not really much stuff drawn in this particular project, but let's just go down to a sheet that's already in this particular project. For instance, here it's got a title block in there, and it could have some plans and whatever views we want on there. But I can actually go in, now that I have my title block in here, it shows up as a family under annotation. Okay, I can go in, and there's my DG 24 by 36. I can actually take that and I can drag that right into my drawing, right into my sheet view, and then I can delete this. Okay, so now I've basically taken this title block as a family and dragged it into a different sheet view. Okay, go into this sheet view and then go get that title block and drag that in. So that's another way of getting your title blocks into an existing project.